there. Welcome to Geno's Thing of the Day, where take a look at one of Geno's things and it's a day. Hey, welcome. Stoked to see you all. Stoked. I'm so glad you're here. It just makes my heart soar like an eagle when you're here hanging out with me. I really mean it. Hey, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, Geno, wonder how that Geno got his taste in music. Well, as it just so happens, there's like 3 events that I would say really shaped the directions I went musically. And it just so happens that the first one of those things is today's thing of the day. You thought I'd forgotten, didn't you? Come on. It's like Geno's gonna forget about Geno's thing of the day. What kind of day would it be without a thing? Anyhow, this is the first great thing that helped shaped my taste and my influences and my direction in music, both in my listening and my playing. This is it. That's right, folks. This is actually a record for you young kids, although I don't know, it's pretty popular these days. But this is an OG, not a modern reprint of an old record. And this record, it's called Permanent Wave. And what it is, it's a compilation. Got several really good bands on it. On the back, it's got really interesting, liner notes and stuff. Cover art, pretty cool. Anyhow, it's a new wave compilation, like I said. So folks are saying, hey, Geno, like, where'd you hear it for the very first time? And that is a great question, which we're going to answer. It happened to be a guy that lived upstairs when I lived in the Plumtree Mental Community. And I just thought he was the coolest guy ever. And he played this record for me once. And that's where I heard it for the first time, which is a perfect segue because the second big thing that influenced my music was that guy. And you know what? The terrible thing is I don't even remember his name. But we hung out for a little while, not long. But at that time, I thought I had never, ever seen a cooler dude in my short life up to that point. And this guy was, and this is, like I said, before I was into, new wave or the punk scene. He had blonde hair, like a little bit, just slightly past shoulder length. Very straight and fine and stringy. The top spiked up, just awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, new wave was new and punk and all that. The thing was to get a haircut where your hair just all kind of spiked up. I think they still do it sometimes, but that was really the thing. So he had that. He always wore his black leather jacket. I mean, even like in the summer, if it was hot out, he wore this black leather jacket. But anyway, the coolest thing about him, remember this is when I was 16 or maybe 17, but he lived with 3 chicks upstairs. Him and 3 chicks lived up there. And I just thought that was the most awesome thing. I don't know if he was involved with any or all of them. I don't know. But I just thought that was cool. Anyway, one time he even took me to my first bar. Well, first bar where I went and drank. I'd been to a bar plenty of times with my sister Nan. She used to take me in, I think it was called Charlie's back then, or Mike's, I think. Anyway, down in Holt, very, very narrow bar. Kept a sign up top, said free beer tomorrow. Never took it down, so if you ever came back and said, yeah, free beer's tomorrow, that's what it says. What's the sign say? It says free beer tomorrow. Well, come back tomorrow. Anyhow, it was comical back then. But he took me to Max, my first, like I said, trip out actually drinking. And we went to Max, the Max downtown, not Max Hidden Camel, which was around back then. The original Max down on the east side. And it was just, it was an experience, especially for a 16, 17-year-old, I don't know. With the, you wade through about an ankle deep's worth of spilled stale beer, piss and vomit. You watch the cockroach races, where the cockroaches are running up the walls or down the counter, and, you make bets on which one's going to come in first. And really loud music and a poor layout, but an icon, a Lansing icon, and still around, still kicking. Anyway, we went through, I don't remember what band we saw or anything, some local band. But, so he took me there. Anyway, this guy was a big influencer because he was a new wave dude, a punker. So, and I just thought he was the coolest dude. Speaking of Mike, I think that was the guy's name, I think was Mike. Let's just say it's Mike. Anyway, so as soon as I heard that from Mike, like the next day or something, I, went down to downtown East Lansing on Strip to the campus store. I don't know, like the drugstore, 5 and dime type thing. Anyway, they had a great section of records, weird records like bargain bins and stuff that no one wanted. And I went, sure enough, I found this record after checking a couple of those places, and got it, took it home, and I swear I almost wore it out in the first couple weeks. But made a big difference, made a big influence, a big impact on my life. And Mike did, and the coolness and all that. This is awesome. And this music, up until this point, I'd been a typical, 16-year-old boy back then, in 1980 or 79, whatever it was. And I was into like Styx and Boston, Kiss and stuff like this, the standard stuff, Ozzy. But I started buying different records all of a sudden. I got a Dead Kennedys album, which was really cool. I got really into Oingo Boingo, and I started buying their records. I ended up buying every record they had to come out. And, stuff like that. I didn't have a lot, but a few. And the very first night that when I went out with Sheila, and we went to the homecoming football game, and then she come back to my place afterwards. We were, hanging out, talking and stuff. And she sits down on the floor and she's going through my record collection, which, not a big thing. That's something people did back then, See what kind of record you got. You might see something you really want to hear. Say, oh, we play this. But she just looked through it. Sometime later, like a long, long time later, she told me, she says, when I went back to your house that night, or your apartment that night, and I sat there and I looked through, your music to see what you had. She says, that was what was one of the main determining factors left of whether or not you were getting a second date. Luckily for me, thank God, I had a handful of really good music, really good records. So I passed the test. We had a second date. Anyway, she was a big influencer because she was into, you know, that kind of music too. And we started dating and going out, and, you know, you want to make your woman happy, right? Or at least share music, what you listen to, but you listen to some that she likes, some that you like. So, so I got exposed to, stop thinking bad, exposed to lots of different types of music. Got it? Got it? Good. Anyhow, that's my story. You got it. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, what was I got? Shooter McGee, Shooter McGavin. If you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment. Tell me you know what you're talking about. Anyway, so we'll be taking off now. And I want you to be good. I want you to stay cool, stay crazy, my friend. Feel free to criticize, comment, copy, and or critique, doggies. Anyways, this is me, and like I said, very, very special thing of the day. Like biggest, foremost, at the top, the things that influenced me musically. Anyhow, it's a great album. I mean, especially if you like, you know, I guess I should say it, if you have a good taste in music. No, it's classic, it's old, it's definitely early new wave, kind of on the border, new wave punk at that time. And anyway, yeah, it's been real. It's been exciting and interesting. It's been real exciting and interesting. But for now, we got to take off. And until next time, adieu. Hey, you better be loving on people. You know, we all need that reminder. I need that reminder. I make mistakes sometime and I forget, or I snap, or I lose control. If you do, get back up and stick with it. Back in the saddle, isn't that what they say? Yeah, anyway, hey, love on people, love yourself, love the world, love me, love everybody, love everything. Anyway, yeah, just spread the love, be kind, be great to each other, and party on, dudes. Like I said, see you later. Bye.